pretty exciting time in college football. It's actually already started, so that's pretty exciting.
It's kind of weird. They had like a week 0.
Yeah,
I don't know why they did that.
There was really no hype around it. No one was really that excited about it.
There wasn't really any good games.
Yeah, there already didn't good games to talk about. So we're here to talk about this weekend coming up. Actually, it starts on Thursday, so got a couple days.
Just a couple days.
It's going to be starting out, and we're pretty excited to get going. So
yeah, we've had a lot going on since the last time we had a show. Matt had a baby.
Jimmy got married.
Yes.
So yeah, some crazy stuff going on. So baby William will make appearance.
Of course.
Probably maybe next Sunday. Bring him out when he's not sleeping. So
there we go.
Hopefully you guys are ready for season 3. I know we're ready for season 3. We've been waiting all year for this, like we always do. We didn't do a whole lot in the off season due to everything going on in our personal lives, but I'm definitely ready to get going and move forward. So hopefully you guys are ready for season 3 of Two Average Guys and for the 2017-2018 football season. So
yeah, I think it's going to be good. There's a lot of question marks going into the season, not only for Nebraska but for college football in general. There's pretty set in stone kind of a couple teams here and there that you think are going to make it. And this year I think that anybody could surprise. So I'm excited.
Well, you look at last year, we got our top 10 this year really isn't much of a surprise. You look at how teams ended up last year, and the teams that ended up last year in the top 10 are once again in the top 10.
Yeah.
They might be switched around a little bit as far as where they're at in the top 10, but they're still in the top 10.
Well, and you take a look at a team like Washington that was preseason like 14 last year, and they make the playoff.
Yeah.
So, who's going to do that?
Well, and Tennessee was number 9 last year to start the season, and they finished 9-4. You got teams like LSU, who was ranked 5 at the beginning of the year last year, and they're not in the top 10 this year. They finished with 4 losses. They were 8-4, and they're ranked 13 to begin the season. And then you got their other SEC foe, Auburn. They finished with 5 losses, and they're in the top 15.
they weren't even preseason ranked.
And even I think Georgia. Yeah, Georgia's ranked 15, and they didn't even finish in the top 25 this last year. So I think they have 4 or 5 losses. So you got teams that are maybe in the top 20. Kansas State wasn't even ranked last year. So once again, you look at preseason rankings. We talked about it before. I really don't know where they come up with them because you can look at it and be like, okay, does it make sense?
You can judge it off of if a team loses a 4-year starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Or a running back, or something like that, or a bunch of guys on defense, or
like Clemson, they're number 5 this year, but I don't even know who their quarterback is.
Yeah, I know. I have no idea. And they played Auburn pretty quick. I think the second week.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be really interesting to see how the season.
Well,
unfolds.
and 3 of the top 16 preseason teams last year ended 4-8.
Yeah.
Then Notre Dame was 10.
Yeah.
Michigan State was 12, and UCLA was 16.
Yeah, and to me, you got some top contenders in the Big Ten that typically show up pretty strong, including Michigan State, who they're not visible this year in the top 25. I mentioned K-State. You got Texas, who didn't even finish in the top 25. They of course squeaked into 23. But I think they have potential. They have potential with Charlie Strong. He just didn't have enough time to develop them. But
hopefully that'll be pretty good. They play Stanford or they play USC pretty quick.
Yeah, but down horns. No one likes the Longhorns here.
Right.
Not in this house, at least. You got Wisconsin up there, so they had a strong season. I don't disagree with the top 10 per se. Some of the SEC teams that are up there in the top 20. Florida was 9-4. Miami was 9-4. So I think it's kind of silly. We talk about it every year. The preseason rankings are just silly because how do you rank somebody before the season started? You got a brand new quarterback at Clemson. How do you put them even in the top 5?
That's why Nebraska is at like 38.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a quarterback that's never played, and we have a new defense, switching to a 3-4 defense.
Yeah, so Nebraska
seems right. No one knows, so why would you rank them in the top 25?
Yeah.
But I just don't know why you have to do them beforehand.
Still a strong believer in getting rid of preseason rankings and just going, hey, let's wait till week 5 or 6. See what a team is made of. At least get into a conference play,
right? Before
you throw somebody into the top 20, top 25. It's just there's no reason.
The reason they do it is so that it.
Us idiots talk about it.
Yeah, hypes games where you have Alabama, Florida State 1-3 in the first week.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, oh yeah, which is great. it's just so happens to be at the same time as the Nebraska game, but they're just
Yeah.
going to have two TVs on at once.
Well, they're two top programs, so and I wish there was more schools that would do this week one, is bring those top opponents to their field or to an off-site location to where they can play. You got Ohio State playing Indiana on Thursday night, so that's your first really game to kick off the season.
Right.
That's actually enticing. You can talk about the Hawaii win on this last weekend. They won by 3, but it's Hawaii, and they're not a powerhouse, but they're fun to watch usually.
Well, one thing I would say, I do like that they, Alabama played USC last year, and then they played Florida State.
Yeah.
I like that, but then they play at these neutral sites, and I get it. People can go from all over the place, but I'd rather do it home and home.
Yeah.
Come play us at home, and we'll see.
year
And then
home.
next year we'll come out and see if we can win it, on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, so here's the thing too. So you look at strength of schedule. You look at how things unfold later in the season. You got Florida State and Bama playing in that first week. You got Indiana and Ohio State,
Which was a good game last year.
Yeah. So my question is, what if Indiana beats Ohio State? How detrimental to that is them down? How detrimental is that to them down the road if they end up going 11-1? But their losses to Indiana, and let's say Indiana doesn't even finish in the top 25. Will it hurt them? Will it not? It hasn't hurt teams in the past because they say, oh, it's early on in the season. They got stronger as the season went on. It hasn't really affected a lot of teams to have those early season losses.
I think the reason that it hasn't is because teams will then end up winning their conference championship. So, I mean, that is a conference game.
Yeah.
So it's a little different, but I mean, then Ohio State's going to have to play Michigan. They're going to have to play Michigan State. They're going to have to play Penn State.
Yeah.
Two of those teams are, potentially in the top 10.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they have Wisconsin on their schedule this year or not. I would guess probably not. But what other top 25 teams are going to sneak up there?
Yeah.
So
I think it's exciting to see teams start to have their strength of schedule at the beginning of the season a little stronger than what it is towards the end of the season. But like I said, you got Florida State, Alabama. One of them obviously is going to lose. They're both in the top 3, but they're not going to move. If Florida State loses,
that's the problem.
If Alabama loses, you might get Ohio State. If Ohio State wins, they're going to jump to 1. Florida State jumps to 2, or Florida State jumps to 1.
Florida State probably jumps to 1.
But either way, Bama's not going to drop more than 3.
I know.
They won't, even if in USC plays. I don't know who they play. Game 1 is Western Michigan.
Yeah, Western Michigan, which
could be a really good
could have
game.
been more fun if PJ Fleck was still
Yeah,
there.
but it still could be a good game. I mean, they were a good team last year, so we just don't know what's going to happen there. USC schedules a strong opponent that was strong last year. Who knows how they're going to be this year? So we'll just have to wait and see. But what happens? The USC's not going to jump even if they beat Western Michigan. Western Michigan's not ranked, so they're not going to jump up a spot. So Bama will drop to 3 if Florida State ends up winning, and Ohio State wins. I mean, they can't feel like they're being screwed because they're playing Indiana, who's not ranked, and Bama and Florida State are both ranked in the top 3. So
I guess it just depends on what the score of that game is, on how far those teams might drop.
yeah,
If one of them blows the other one out, then they could drop out, towards the bottom half of the top 10.
I don't see a blowout happening in either game. I don't see Ohio State blowing out Indiana personally. They're still Ohio State. They're still good.
It's a
but
Thursday night. You never know. Those are kind of crazy. I mean, this first game of the season.
What's his bucket?
JT Barrett?
JT Barrett. I mean, he really didn't lead. He didn't really meet the expectations last year. I don't think he did. I mean, yes, he had a good season, but I don't think he was as exciting and had as good of a year as everyone had hoped and thought he would. I mean, he essentially blew some of the games, if you want to put it on his shoulders as a quarterback, where the opportunities were there, and he didn't take that next step.
He didn't play well in the Penn State game that they lost.
Yeah. So I mean, we don't know what's going to happen there, but you don't know what's going to happen with any of these top 5 teams. Really, it's kind of a crapshoot. So
and Clemson's 5, and you just don't really know anything about them. I know that they had a good defense last year, and they probably have a lot. I mean, they probably have a decent amount of players back, but losing the quarterback is tough.
Yeah, and losing a top quarterback that went in the NFL in the draft. I mean, you didn't just lose a quarterback; you lost a good quarterback who has a lot of potential in the NFL. So, so we'll see how Clemson does. We'll see how the Penn State, how the USC's do. We just won't know until the season starts.
Penn State ended up being pretty good last year. They have them preseason at number 6, and I know they struggled maybe a little bit early on in the year, but they took care of Ohio State and won the Big Ten.
So in the top 10 preseason this year, there is 5 teams that were in the top 10 last year that are back in the top 10 this year, actually in the top 7. But once again, we know what happened to Michigan had a pretty good year last year, 10-3. You got LSU and Stanford. LSU was 8-4, Stanford 10-3. LSU was unfortunate because they didn't get to play that one more game at the beginning of the season. Well, they could have gone 9-4, or they could have gone 8-5. But
yeah, they had one game that got canceled or something.
But you have no idea how those games are going to go anyway. So it's all kind of up in the air. And the beginning of the season, I mean, it's exciting to see what's going to happen here at the beginning and how teams are going to unfold. It's exciting as it always is at the beginning of the year because for me, I know what I'm doing every Saturday.
Well, yeah,
college football. I know you just know it's going to happen, and we'd have nothing else. We got stuff to do.
But the second week is going to be kind of fun because it starts right out the gate with Iowa and Iowa State, and then Nebraska and Oregon, and then all kinds of games Saturday night. But this first one will be pretty good. Like I said, unfortunately, Nebraska plays the same time as Alabama and Florida State. We'll just have to have a second TV.
Yep, but then we got Thursday night, so Thursday night should be a good game. Hopefully it's a good game. Even if Ohio State wins, I hope it's a good game still. Indiana put up a good battle last year. Probably should have won the game. They blew it. If I remember, they blew it on the last drive or last 2 drives where they actually should have beat Ohio State. You got Michigan playing Florida. They're playing in Arlington at Cowboy Stadium. I like that. So that should be kind of fun to watch. Not a fan of either team, of course.
No, but I'll go Big Ten on that one.
But you know who we don't have to hear about every game this year is Jabril Peppers. We don't have to hear about him every game and every week, or about the Heisman, Jabril Peppers. I don't even know who's going to be in the Heisman race. You know, Baker Mayfield is going to be
Baker
up there.
Mayfield. We're going to have Jake Browning from Washington. Sam Darnold from USC.
Yep.
He's supposed to be up there. Yeah. Lamar Jackson was the Heisman Trophy winner last year. He's back.
Yeah, even though he had a good 6 games and kind of
so I mean, there's always somebody that we're just out of nowhere. So
it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes with the Heisman as well. Then you got Big 12 once again. The Big 12. I mean, throwing any Big 12
Big 12 team. Are they having a Big 12 championship game this year? Did I hear? I'm not sure. We'll have to.
I can't remember either. We'll come back to you at that one. I think there is because I remember someone talking about a true Big 12 champion. So that to me that would mean a Big 12 champ. But then you got to look at your top 4 when it comes to the playoff. What is that going to look like if you got now all 5 power conferences could have a power championship or a championship in the conference? What is that going to look like with the top? So I guess it's going to depend on record. If you ask me. Out of the Power 5 conferences, Big 12 is going to have the worst record out of all the Power 5s.
I think Oklahoma State's got a pretty good shot to make it. That would be my preseason guess from the Big 12. That's my preseason champ.
It's all going to come down
to the Big 12 conference.
It's defense.
True.
Who's going to play defense this year?
Because we haven't seen it. That's the problem too with Oklahoma State. They always, go on a roll and then lose a game they shouldn't. So. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I think they're going to be pretty good, though.
Either way, it's going to be a fun season. We got, like I said, Ohio State, Indiana on Thursday night. You got Bama playing Florida State. Actually, Colorado State on Friday could be a fun game to watch. Yeah. Colorado State won their home opener, and they're playing Colorado, which Colorado had a good year last year.
Yeah, they did.
And they're not even in the top 25.
I'm kind of surprised.
And they had a hell of a good year. I still think they had 3 or 4 losses, but they almost.
I'm sure they did. I think they almost made the.
They almost made the playoff.
Made the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah, Pac-12 championship. So they had a really good year, and I was actually impressed. That's the first time Colorado's looked good since.
For a long time.
Before Nebraska won their championships in the 90s, probably.
Colorado State, kind of interesting. They're going to have 2 games played more than, before pretty much everyone has even played a game.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited about. Well, there's BYU and LSU on Saturday.
So we talked about LSU a little bit. So
You had a game last week and didn't play that well.
Nah, but I think LSU being in the top 15 and even the top 20 is a joke. But they're, once again, SEC bias, I always talk about it. I think they are being biased when you got Georgia, LSU, and Auburn all in the top 15. When Georgia wasn't there at the end of last year, they had 4 or 5 losses. And even Tennessee being at 25 is a joke because they're going to say, oh, you got all these SEC teams in the top 25, but they all had 4 losses or more. And, except for Bama, and it's just
it doesn't hurt them losing when they lose to each other.
It doesn't matter. Oh, it's SEC playing SEC, no big deal. So, but I think that's going to be a true test for LSU because BYU, you know, they always come out slinging. You know, they're always going to come out playing a good game, no matter who they're playing. They come out strong.
Oh yeah.
And playing LSU, what better chance to show, hey, we're not in the top 25 right now, but what better way to get in preseason first game or second game for them, but first game for LSU, and you knock off the number 13 team.
Yeah.
So that's really good opportunity for them.
Sunday night, since it's Labor Day weekend, there's the games on Sunday night.
Yes.
West Virginia, Virginia Tech. Very excited. I think there's going to be a lot of points.
Yep. So that's 21-22 going at it.
And same state.
Same state, yeah. So it's
well, sort of. Not same state, I guess. Same area.
Oh yeah, same
location.
They're a Virginia school.
They're very close to each other.
They're within a distance on the map that you can see.
Virginia, West Virginia.
So I'm excited for that game too. I mean, really, when you get those cross-state or VOTech, you get the states versus the state schools versus the universities. You know, they're always fun to watch. It should be a pretty good time. Florida State's always a good one to watch.
Yep.
Oklahoma State. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then you got A&M, UCLA, which neither of them are in the top 25. But
last season, that was a pretty solid matchup. First week they played.
Mm-hmm.
They were both ranked and pretty significant, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But obviously, neither team ended up being nearly as good as predicted.
Yeah.
But this year they're both unranked, and who knows? I mean, Josh Rosen, even though he doesn't think he should go to school, no, that's not what he said. That could be pretty good, and one of those teams could be, up there later on in the season.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that game. Not an A&M fan whatsoever, but I think that game has potential to be pretty big going into the rest of the season for both of them. UCLA in the Pac-12, they're always a team that gets talked about over and over again, and then they kind of flop. So hopefully for them, they see a little improvement from the last couple of years and can get that next big game.
Yeah.
That's Rosen, the best thing since college football. Well, we haven't seen it yet, but it doesn't mean we won't.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Georgia Tech. So Georgia Tech
That's on Monday, on Labor Day.
On Labor Day, Georgia Tech's always one of those teams you got to be worried about. Notre Dame's been hurt by them before, and it's because of that triple option.
They play that triple option,
and it's hard to defend it. And you would think it's Navy does it, Army does it.
Right.
You got those teams that do it, but how do you defend? You don't know what they're going to do.
I think playing them the first game of the season, probably you spend a lot of time practicing against it to start the year.
Yep.
Whereas if you play them in the middle of the year, you're practicing, and then all of a sudden you got to change your practice schedule up for it. It's still going to be a test for Tennessee too because it's on the road. It's down in Atlanta.
Yep. A couple games at Mercedes-Benz Stadium this year. Atlanta Falcons' new stadium. So that'll be kind of cool to see. That stadium is supposed to be state of the art. Kind of right next to Jerry's World down in Arlington, and they're saying it's even better than that. It looks like a masterpiece to me, a piece of art instead of a football stadium, but it'll be fun to watch games and kind of see how things go there. But so typically what Jimmy and I like to do, we'll talk about Husker football here in a second, but typically what we like to do is say, hey, who's going to be in the playoffs at the end of the year? So we pick our top 4 teams. Well, I told him, let's do something a little different this year where instead of picking the top 4 teams, why don't we do something a little more fun and say, hey, who's in the top 10? Who will not be in the top 10 at the end of the season? Makes it a little more interesting. So I'm actually going to write this down for the nobody that's watching the show right now. You can write this down as well. So we want to see...
Ryan said it's back.
Yeah, well, I know Pootie's not watching anymore, but he wanted me to make a shout out to Notre Dame. But sorry, Notre Dame's not in contention again this year, even though they have been in the past. Notre Dame just don't have a shot.
They have a new quarterback. We'll see.
They don't. Yeah, new quarterback. Apparently, Kaiser made made starter for whatever the hell team. What, Cleveland?
The Browns.
So, congratulations on being on the worst team in the National Football League for the last 10 years. So.
Okay. So,
all right. So top 10, we got Alabama, Ohio State, Florida State, USC, Clemson, Penn State, Oklahoma, Washington, Wisconsin, and Ohio State or Oklahoma State. So, you want to start and take a look and see who you think will not be in the top 10 at the end of the year out of those teams.
Okay, so Alabama, I think they will.
Okay.
They always are in the top 5.
Mm-hmm. Now, real quick, Jalen Hurts. Will his arm improve over last year? Because we know he can run the ball, but he's not much of a thrower.
Right, and
if they didn't work on that in the offseason, Alabama's going to...
Well, and I thought I heard they might have another freshman or something.
Okay.
To be decent. So
we'll see.
They may go with Hurts, and if he's not getting it done the way Saban wants to, I could see him giving somebody else a shot.
Okay.
Ohio State, yeah, I think they'll be in the top 10.
Okay.
Will they make the playoff? You know, they got to play. They have to play Penn State. They have to play Michigan. Play at Nebraska.
Is that a no playoff for OSU?
I think they still will. I think they're going to be pretty good.
Cross it. I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
I like Micah's comment though. Instead of Taylor Martinez jersey.
Hey, is it a Taylor Martinez jersey? Yes, but no. I just got asked if it's
It says Huskers on the back.
It's a Husker jersey. Taylor Martinez, not my homeboy or nothing, but this is when they turned to only having certain numbers on the jerseys. And it's the only one I could find. There was no number 1 or number 15, so... You want to talk crap? I like it.
Real quick, last week I was at dinner, and I saw Johnny Rogers.
Ah.
So that was cool. I didn't say hey or anything. He was leaving, but...
Yeah.
That's Johnny Rogers.
Johnny Rogers!
Okay.
So, do you see anyone in the top 10 you think won't be in there at the end of the year? Or anybody out of the top 10 you think will jump in? Who's a sleeper?
I'm going to say that Clemson is not going to be in the top 10.
Oh, no Clemson. All right. So, no Clemson.
I don't know. That might...
Anyone else you see in there?
It's tough because I don't know how tough of a schedule they have, but I was going to maybe say Wisconsin, but...
Mike, I like it. I didn't mind it. Oh, shit.
Sorry.
Dogs. We're back.
It's going to go dark for a second.
Nope, we're back. All right, we're good. Move.
Whew. Gosh, it's just so hard to tell. All these teams I think are going to be pretty good. I think USC is going to be good. I think Oklahoma and Oklahoma State are both going to be good. Washington's going to be right back in there. I just feel like Clemson might dip a little bit after last year.
I can agree with Clemson. I have no idea what their backup quarterback can do.
And the only thing I'd say about everyone's picking them to win the West and go 10-2 or 11-1.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to be in the top 10.
Okay, I'm going to say I think I do agree with Clemson. I think Clemson's going to they're going to not be in the top 10 at the end of the year. I kind of have a sleeper in the top 10 who's going to be knocked out as well, which don't hate me for this. I think Oklahoma is going to drop from the top 10 this year and not finish in the top 10.
I can see that.
I say that because Baker Mayfield, for one, he had a rocky offseason. He had the drunk and intoxicated in public charge, had a lot of attention on him. It's one of those things where he comes out and says, "Oh, that's not me. That's not me." Well, it may not be you, but you got Kai. I think it was a distraction for him and the team a little bit. You got a new head coach. Stoops retired. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
So Bob Stoops
that was just
retired.
kind of popped up out of the blue one day.
And that was out of nowhere. So my guess is there was more to the Mixon case that came up, or there was something else. There was something there that made him say, "I'm done." Because coaches like Bob Stoops, with how long he's been
He's
in the
not
game,
that old.
He's not that old, but he's been in the game. He's a Hall of Fame college football coach. But what happened with Mixon, his comments towards the situation and the way it was handled by him and the coaching staff, I think ultimately brought him to say, you know what, or the administration, whoever it was, to say, you're done, effective immediately, you're going to retire. Now, I don't have all the facts or the details. Right. But when you see a head coach like Bob Stoops just say, hey, I'm retiring, I'm done, not even going through with the start of the season or finish, hey, this is my last season, or last year saying, hey, this is my last season, I'm done at the end, something happened to where it was a forced retirement. Or a forced departure. Right. I don't know if it was retirement, but it was a forced departure. So it'll be interesting with Oklahoma have a new coach too, which is another reason why I think they're not going to be in the top 10. Brand new coach, brand new system. We've seen it on the Nebraska side where you can go 10-2 and then the next season you're 7-5 because you got a brand new coach, brand new system. You're getting used to their coaches as well. So I think that will be interesting to watch and see how Oklahoma responds to everything that's happened in the offseason. But Baker Mayfield especially, I think he's a quality athlete. I've never liked the guy. I've never expressed anything but dislike for him. Not because he's not a quality player, though. I think it's more Oklahoma. I don't even know. I just don't like the guy. I think because of the hype that gets around him.
Plus, I heard him on an interview. He said Brett Favre was his favorite. He likes to, model himself around Brett Favre. But he loves JT. He loves Justin Timberlake. And so he was asked if you could meet Brett Favre or Justin Timberlake, who would you meet? And he said Justin Timberlake. Really?
What a weirdo. Kind of a weirdo. Yeah, JT's pretty cool. But
I mean, yeah.
All right. Other than that, so I got Clemson. I agree with you there. I think Oklahoma is going to have a tough time staying up there just because of everything going on.
Interesting.
Here's what I don't think. I think Auburn and LSU, I already mentioned, I think they're a joke. Georgia, I think they're a joke. I don't think either of them finish in the top 10. But I do think Florida, as much as I hate to say that, will be in the top 5.
You think they're going to be that high? I think they're going to lose to Michigan, but
I think they have a shot. I don't think Michigan's that good. I didn't think they were that good last year. I don't think
true.
Michigan finishes in the top 20.
One thing I think is interesting is
just my opinion.
Alabama's ranked number 1. There's not another SEC team until Auburn at 12.
Yeah. Well, and so that's what I'm saying. That's what we've always talked about preseason rankings. So you get Alabama. Yeah, they got a tough game, Florida State. Or not at Florida State, sorry. Their first game against Florida State. Yeah, tough game, but if they lose, does it hurt them in the long run? It's only if Florida State's ahead of them in the end of the season. That's the only reason it hurts them. Because then, guess what? They're going to beat the rest of the SEC because as long as their quarterback situation is okay and Hurts has a good year and backup, whatever. But Tennessee is not a threat. Florida, I don't think they're a threat to Alabama. I think that they're going to have a good year.
They'll probably win the East.
And maybe they put up a tough game against Bama, but I don't think Georgia, LSU, Auburn, they're not a threat. I don't see them as a threat this year. I hope I'm wrong. So I'd love to see Alabama lose. At least I don't like Florida State. And Adam, if you're watching,
I don't like Florida State.
Boo the Seminoles, but I would love to see them beat Alabama. The Hoosiers, love to see them beat Ohio. Upsets is what we live for.
There's always games where there's teams that I don't like, but I cheer for them because they're playing for somebody that I like.
Less.
That I just like,
you like less, yeah. So I think
for anybody that's playing Alabama.
I think it's gonna be a fun season. I really think I'm trying to be less biased over and over the years. We're only in year 3, but I'm trying to look at it more as a global view. But it's really hard when there's teams you dislike as much as we do.
And
but let's talk about them.
We give credit when credit's due for teams, even if we don't like them most of the time. We might talk a little crap, but
So let's talk about Nebraska. So
Okay.
we know we're moving to a 3-4 defense this year. We got
Right.
Diacomo as our
Bob Diaco. Bob Diaco.
Yeah, I said Diacomo.
Yeah.
Sorry, Diaco as our new defense coordinator.
So if you don't know, he was the defensive coordinator at Notre Dame when they went to the national championship a few years ago.
Yep.
He then went to UConn as a head coach, and he was not a very good head coach. But they did get, I think they got UConn's not really like a football program. Not
No,
really. I mean,
they're
I think they won the Big East Conference one year. Maybe two, when the Big East was kind of whatever. But they had pretty solid defenses for what they had and for the talent that they had. And I think they got some, recruits that they normally wouldn't get.
Yeah.
So hopefully the defense is pretty solid.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see a 3-4. You don't see that a lot in college. I'm always about the rush, getting pressure on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more interested to see, yes, it's a 3-4 defense. You only have 3 guys up front rushing the quarterback. How are they going to play the linebackers? When you got 4 guys in the middle, how are they going to play the field?
How are you going to play the corner splits and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think you're going to have some corners blitzing with the linebackers dropping out. I mean, that's really going to tell exactly what Diaco's been doing in the offseason. Also be a test to how Nebraska's defense can handle the switch from a 4-3 to a 3-4.
Right.
Also, we got Chris Jones, who was hurt.
He would have been fantastic.
He had a great year last year.
He's out for the season.
So that means Kalu's going to have to step up.
Kalu moved to safety.
Yep.
And apparently he's the best safety ever.
Well, I think he's a pretty solid guy. Last year had a good year. He's
better. Great.
We got Williams, who's going to be stepping up this year. We got guys in our defense that have a lot of potential. Some of them played really good last year, and I think that was only the tip of the iceberg, and I think there's just so much more to come. So I'm really excited this year.
I think so too.
I think our defense, I'm really excited about the black shirts.
They got handed out yesterday.
Tanner Lee, a lot of hype around him.
A lot of hype around him. I don't like all of it.
It worries me because there's always a lot of hype around guys coming in, even to Nebraska.
Right.
It doesn't always work out so well to him. There's a lot of hype around Tommy Armstrong. He wasn't the greatest quarterback. He had potential, but I don't think we had anyone to coach him the way that we should have.
Right, and I mean, a lot of times he was just kind of winging it.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Literally, yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
It worked, probably 70% of the time, and it didn't the other 30. Or maybe less, or maybe more, depending on the game.
But we have a Zigbo in the backfield. We got Bryant in the backfield.
And
Wilbon in the backfield. So running backs, don't have to worry about it.
They came out with the depth chart yesterday, and they said that all 3 of those guys are rotating.
Now, I hope it's only for a short amount of time where we can get somebody as a starter.
I would like to see who does the best this weekend, and probably try to give them the most reps against Oregon next week.
It's similar to when we had Amir Abdullah and
Burkhead.
Well, no, I'm thinking Amir Abdullah and Monty Cross.
Okay.
We had those two. Monty Cross was the ground and pound. I'm gonna shoot
That's
through.
That's kind of what a Zigbo does.
A Zigbo can pound through guys.
Right.
He's not east to west. He's a north-south runner. So if we get Bryant's a guy that can run outside the tackles. Mm-hmm. You got Wilbon who can run between the tackles. You got a Zigbo who can run between the tackles. But a Zigbo also has a lot of speed where he can get outside, just not far outside like Bryant can get.
Zigbo was battling some injuries last year because the year before he was. I thought he was much faster. And he was still good last year. He was still really good.
Wilbon's got to learn the playbook.
Yeah, Bryant needs to not fumble.
But Bryant needs to hold the ball. But he was a redshirt that got brought in last year.
Right.
So he's got a lot to learn still. I'm excited about our backfield. We have Pearsonell. Stanley Morgan. Who's the tight end? Shoot, he came in for Riley last year, made some sweet-ass catch in the end zone for a touchdown.
We have Rom and Reiners.
Both
those guys, and I think both those guys just got scholarships.
I think he's a slot. He's a slot guy.
I'm not sure what the tight end's name is, but he's supposed to be pretty good, and we're supposed to be throwing to the tight end a lot. I'm like, man, why couldn't we have Stephen Carter with Tanner Lee? That would have been awesome.
But I'm excited to see what Tanner Lee can do. And guess what? If he struggles, Gebbia. Christian Gebbia in the background, and he's ready to go. He did good in high school. I don't know how he's going to be in college.
So I'm hoping that they keep Gebbia at number 3, so we can redshirt him.
Okay.
Patrick O'Brien's number 2, and Jebbia's 3.
That's right, Patty O'Brien. I forgot
so
about him.
So Gebbia, if we keep him at 3 and Tanner stays healthy,
they redshirting.
Then I think he'll get a red shirt.
Okay.
But they may have to pull it.
But Patty O'Brien's had the last 2 years under his belt.
He's had it like a year and a half
to really get to know the system, so he's ready to come in when we need him.
During the off season or during the fall camp, they did come out. I think Langsdorf came out and said that the second quarterback spot was up for grabs. I think it was just to light a fire under Patrick O'Brien a little bit. He did end up finishing camp as the second quarterback. So, and I'm thinking they probably don't want to burn Jebbia's red shirt. We'll see. We have to do what we have to do. I think we were in a better spot than. I mean, I know he didn't really get to play very much, but we couldn't do Riker Fife. He just couldn't get it done when Tommy went down. Tommy wasn't playing that well. We couldn't just be like, hey, let's go to this other guy because he was nowhere near Tommy's abilities. No. So I think we've got some guys that could come in and take care of business if they need to.
I think there's a lot of potential on defense, a lot of potential on offense. I'm really excited to see college football as a whole. Obviously true to my Huskers every year. I'm really excited to see what we can do. I'm really excited to see what Diaco brings to the 3-4 defense and how the schemes that he's going to bring. And if I remember reading correctly, him and Langsdorf are going to be up in the booth, not on the field.
I know that Diaco is up. Is going to be up.
And I think Langsdorf as well is going to be up.
I don't love, but if it works, then that's fine.
That's also why he has good assistants. So it's not just him. He can see everything from above.
Right.
And then you guys assistants on the field doing the coaching. There's a lot of
there's positives and negatives on whether you're on the field or up top. Because when you're on the field, you can't see everything. But when you're on the sidelines, I feel like you can
light fire up on the ice a little more.
Yeah, exactly. You can get in their face if you need to, good and bad.
Yeah.
You know, if you need to get on somebody, you can.
Fire them up, slap an ass, and just get in.
If somebody does something awesome, you come and, you know, bump shoulders with them or whatever. But up top, you can see what's going on and communicate it to your other coaches on the sidelines. So
I'm excited, man. It's going to be a fun year. I think Nebraska is still, a lot of people said Nebraska's been rebuilding over the last few years. Well, I think once Mike Riley came in after Bo, that's when the rebuilding kind of started. But we already had some of Bo's players in, so let's get them out. Let's get his squad in there.
Right.
Let's get this shit going. Like, I think we got a lot of his guys in. We got his system. People love him. He's a good coach. Yeah, he's a nice guy, but instead of focusing on a nice guy, he wants to win more than anybody. We saw some of the fire last year in the down the stretch in a couple of the games where we had penalties that really shouldn't have been. We had a couple that they call targeting that shouldn't have been, and you saw him get fired up on the sidelines. That's what we need more of that from him this year, and that's what I love about him is, yeah, he's a nice guy, but when he gets fired up, man, his players react to it. So, college football, 2017, 2018, Huskers are going to have a good year. What's your prediction for the Husker record?
I listen to sports radio all day, and I've heard everywhere from 7-5
let's go back. Some people are going to think that they're going to lose game 1 against Arkansas State. So
that was the Arkansas State people.
Let's stop right there and tell them that you're not going to beat Nebraska at Nebraska. You're Arkansas State. Just stop it.
They predicted a 35-24 win at Nebraska.
If they score 35 points on us, we're going to score 49 points.
And I think that they're going to be better than people think. But Anyway. I've been going back and forth because, we play Ohio State at home, but Ohio State's,
You never know. 3-4 defense could change the way Ohio State has to play us.
We play at Penn State. That's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
We play at Oregon, which...
Yeah, we didn't really struggle too bad with Oregon last year.
Yeah, we scored with 2 minutes left to take the lead, and then we held them.
I don't think we struggled. Everyone thought it was going to be like a tough game for us, and I thought we held in really tight.
I think going on the road there could be tough. We always struggle with Wisconsin, but I think we're going to beat them this year.
Yep.
I think we're going to beat Oregon. I think we're going to lose to Ohio State. I think we're going to lose to Penn State. And I think we're going to lose one other game. I'm not sure who it's going to be to.
It's always this game we should
It's going to be like a Northwestern or, no, I take that back. The Northwestern games are always great.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a Minnesota or somebody that we have to go on the road and we're going to have like an injury or two or something. It's going to be something like that. So I'm going to go with 9-3.
Okay, I'm going to make a preseason prediction. Don't call me crazy. Maybe call me crazy. For those of you who are watching still, you're probably going to call me crazy. Nebraska is going to beat Ohio State.
Okay.
We're at Nebraska, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be probably the toughest environment Ohio State's played in a long time. Michigan was tough. Nebraska's tougher.
Especially if we come out with like a lead right off the bat, we get a score.
Listen up.
Get a turnover and another score. Or
Listen
something
up.
like that.
We got a quarterback who can throw the damn ball.
It's true.
Accurately, not rainbow throws. So we're gonna win.
I agree. We better not lose against Iowa.
Yes, if we lose against Iowa, I don't have very many windows in my house, and it's not much bumps and bruises I can get Micah. But if I jump out of the house and I land, I hope I get a little hurt because I can't lose Iowa at home. I really can't. I think we beat Iowa. I think we beat Ohio State. I'm gonna say 9-3 still.
Okay.
Even with beating Ohio State,
Who do you think
I
will go?
want to go 10-2. I really do.
I know. I think that would be awesome.
I really don't know who we're gonna lose to. That's what's tough. I think it's gonna be games.
It's gonna
be
depend
games
on
we
how
shouldn't
that.
lose.
It's gonna be kind of dependent on how that Oregon game goes.
Yeah, I mean,
go on the road and see what the team's made of.
Yeah,
And if they rally and come together and win that game, I think that it's gonna boost. Give a great boost forward for the rest of the year. If they lose, it's gonna be all right. How does the team respond? I think it's a non-conference game. Let's go out and win our conference games. See what happens.
I think if we lose 3 games, I hope we go 10-2. I really do. If we lose 3 games, it's going to be all by less than 10, 12 points combined. They're going to be close games. We're not going to get blown out this year. Ohio State's not going to blow us out this year.
Not like they did last year.
We're going to welcome them home to Nebraska, and we're going to show them what these cornheads are all about. We're going to take it to them.
Okay.
I think Tanner Lee's going to throw for 300 yards. I think we're going to have 150-plus rushing yards. And I still think it's going to be a close game, but I think we're going to win that game.
It's going to probably...
Mark my words, people. We're going to beat Ohio State at home this year.
Well, we'll see.
I don't care what you say. I think we're going to beat Ohio State at home.
Okay.
All right. I'm just throwing it out there. I think it more fun than anything else.
So what's your prediction for this weekend for our game?
For our game?
Mm-hmm. We're favored by what, like 16.5, 17? Last I checked.
I hate getting favored by that much because Nebraska seems to never live
well,
up to the hype. But
all the other games are 20 to 35 or more.
I think we take a 24-point win this weekend.
I mean, with a new defense and with Tanner Lee, I mean, and I don't know. If you're up by 21 points in the fourth quarter, do you keep playing Tanner Lee? Get him. He hasn't played. He hasn't played for over a year.
Yeah.
He didn't play last year, and you want to get him. I mean, you don't want him to get hurt.
Yeah.
Or do you give Patrick O'Brien a little bit of play time in case he's got to go away?
If you're up by that much.
I mean,
it's the first game of the season. If you're winning by that much, why not?
But you also have Oregon the next week. You want Tanner Lee. You want everybody to be in sync.
If you're up by that much, you're already in sync. You have nothing to lose bringing in second string guys.
I guess.
All right.
Well,
I got nothing else, guys. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fun.
I'm very, very excited for this season. I know I said it last year, it didn't happen. This year for sure. We know we're gonna have at least one guest on the show. Really cool guest. His name is William Wellwood. He's a baby. He's gonna wear his Husker gear.
Yes.
And it's gonna be fun.
Yes.
That's what I know.
No, we have said that we will have guests.
But Micah, Pooty, we got people out there that said they want us to be on here, so we'll welcome you here into the man cave, the Husker man cave. We'll have some beer.
Jason,
talk
I know you live
football.
a ways away, but if you're still gonna continue watching, if you're in town,
wear your Iowa shit.
if
I
you
don't
want to
care.
wear your Iowa jersey,
Bring it on. I'm excited. Jim is excited. We're all excited. Two Average Guys is back. Season 3. We're ready to go. We're pumped. And
Yes.
we're going to get this shit going. We're excited,
Let's
guys.
get this big W.
Enjoy
this
the
weekend.
season with us. Drink beer with us. Watch our show. Tell people about the show. We're excited. I know we're hoping to partner with Husker Nation here very soon as well. So we might get some more people watching.
Maybe
might get
we'll
some more
do
exposure.
some more like little clips here and there.
Maybe we'll
not
get
a
on
full
with
show.
Husker Nation. They do interviews with Husker players as well. So hopefully we can get a little partnership going with Husker Nation.
That'd be
So
cool.
talking to you guys. So stay tuned. We'll be back next week. Actually, this week. Sorry, on Sunday. Actually, we probably do another Tuesday show considering we got Monday games.
Well, yeah, let's do that because Sunday's Labor Day, and
So we'll be
we
back
got
a week from
some
now.
stuff going
We
on.
might even do Monday night. I mean, it's Labor Day. Maybe we'll do Monday night, do a little show during a game. We'll watch a little bit together
That might
and,
not be a
and
bad
hang tight.
idea.
So I got nothing else for you. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
it's gonna be fun.
Appreciate you watching. Once again, we're just two average guys, and it's just our opinion. Welcome back, guys. Season 3. Pumped and ready.
See you next week.
Dream or live to die. Will you ride about the truth at the right time?